All right, I want to give you guys an access road update. My road is all told from the main road to the cabin. It's about 3/4 of a mile long, and most of it is flat like this, and it works great. It's got a good base, got good stone on top, and it's got a nice ditch alongside it with culverts where they're needed. So then the next part of my road, I call the hill, and the hill really has three parts. It has the part that you can see on frame here, which is not too bad of a grade, and it's got ditching the whole way and the culvert right there. And this part works pretty good too. Okay, now we're on what I would call the second section of my road. The pitch gets steeper. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm actually like leaning down so I can be in the frame of the camera. And I've got the camera on a tripod. That's how steep it is. This angle doesn't show it too much, but anyway, the pitch gets steeper. It jogs, and unfortunately the ditching ends because we hit bedrock. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see that there's bedrock right there. So this is really the trouble section. And then right where the frame ends up there, there's like a whoop-de-doo is what my excavator calls it, that kicks the water off this way to down into a wash. This is my biggest problem because it's probably too steep to hold a good base, and it's got that bedrock that makes it difficult, not impossible, but difficult to have a proper ditch to keep it dry. Okay, and now we're on the last part of my hill where the grade levels out a bit, and that's the whoop-de-doo that takes the water off to the side. I'm standing just above the bedrock that juts out. This part of the hill is manageable. It could be fixed with ditching and a culvert and a proper base of larger stone, which I never had up here. It just, you know, I kind of ran out of money by this point. All in all, this road worked good for 3 years because when it was wet, I just wouldn't come here. And that was fine. It held up. As long as I didn't drive on it, was wet, it worked pretty good. But then I started a YouTube channel, and I wanted to keep a fairly regular upload schedule. So I found myself coming out here maybe a day or two after it had rained, just to be able to get work done and film video. That really damaged the road. And then ironically, the kiss of death was when the excavator, he drove his really heavy duty truck up here and really wrecked it. So now I'm at the point where I have to do something. So now I've really got 4 options, or maybe some combination of these 4 options. You know, option 1 is just grade it and rock it again, and, you know, see how long that lasts. That doesn't seem too smart to me. Seems like throwing good money after bad. Option 2 would be to try and ditch as best we could, maybe put a culvert in right about where I'm standing, take it under this and over into the wash, and then kind of deal with that steep section with the bedrock. Option 3 was to do the ditching and then maybe pour, he called it, like the excavator called it, like a rough concrete job. He said he doesn't use form work, and he basically finishes it with a rake so that it's rough, and that kind of holds everything in place. But we were worried about the water being in the ground, hitting the clay and being forced to come to the surface, and then if water gets under that concrete, you know, it's just not going to last. So I don't know if I want to do that. That could work really well, but it might not work, so that's kind of a gamble. And then option 4, which I'm kind of favoring, but we're waiting to see where the prices come out. All right, and then option 4 is to take the existing road where it has the ditching and it has sort of a more shallow grade up to this point that I'm standing, and then we talked about taking this fill that's on the side of the road. It's got some big stone in it. And pushing it down into this wash right here and putting a culvert down in there and jumping over to that next finger of land, and that would allow us to make the pitch of the road a lot more gradual and then not have to deal with the section of bedrock and be able to get proper drainage. Okay, so now we're looking down into that wash. So probably there's some of these trees right here, probably come either just below those trees or have to lose those trees and come over as I'm panning and then jump onto this finger of land right here. And now I'm standing on the other side of the wash, and I'm going to pan up and you can see where we'd reconnect to the road. So that's the road. We'd come up to this bunch of trees right there. I honestly think we'd even stay below that bunch of trees and keep them there to hold all the dirt. And he'd take the fill from this side and push it down in and come across to where I'm standing. And then the grade to get the back of the rest of the way up, I mean, there's some junk in here, but it's pretty manageable. It's really not that steep. And we'd have natural drainage to both sides of the road. The road would be up on a finger of land. I think it'd be really easy to control the flow of water, which is, you know, the road killer. I hope you guys can see what I'm talking about here. You know, basically just to the right of center frame, just come over and come right across. And then this is the last section of my road. We got to the top of the hill. You know, there's a small hill here. It levels out, and then the cabin is like right behind this bunch of trees right over here. And this part just needs a base. It needs a proper base, maybe a little bit of ditching. It just, you know, like I said, by the time we got up here, I was pretty much out of money. So, okay, and now we're just looking back. I was standing over there, filming up towards where I'm filming from now. And you know that the hill's over there, it goes back down, and the cabin is like right there. And I just kicked up a bunch of deer. I walked up instead of drove up, and I surprised them. They're right behind the cabin, like 6 deer. So let me know what you guys would do. Let me know what you think. So scenic locations, they cost money, but I think they're worth it. I mean, if I were to build this down at the bottom of the hill, somewhere down there, I don't think it would have quite the allure as being able to come out on the back porch and see, you know, those hills in the background. And like I said, I'm kind of favoring the fourth option. I think that'd be the most sustainable long-term fix, but we'll see where all the prices come in. I'd love to do that work myself, but honestly, I gotta be honest with myself, I think it's out of my skill level. I love running machines, but I've probably only got 8 hours of using an excavator, you know, to my credit. So it's probably beyond my skill level. I'd probably make more of a mess than I solve.